Introduction. Hello, my name is Jordan. I am from Brazil, a country known for its beautiful beaches, vibrant culture, and friendly people. Growing up, I always dreamed of traveling the world and making friends from different countries. I realized that to achieve this dream, I needed to learn English. English is spoken in many countries, and it would help me communicate with people from various cultures. In Brazil, we primarily speak Portuguese, and I didn't have many opportunities to practice English. However, I was determined to learn. I knew that learning English would open up many possibilities for me. For example, I could travel to English-speaking countries and understand the people and their culture better. I could also make new friends from different parts of the world. Additionally, learning English would help me in my career. Many international companies require employees who can speak English. By learning English, I would have better job opportunities and could work with people from different countries. This was very exciting for me, as I wanted to grow professionally and personally. So, with excitement and a bit of nervousness, I embarked on my journey to learn English. At first, I didn't know many English words. It was hard to understand people, and I often felt lost and frustrated. Every time someone spoke to me in English, I struggled to grasp even the simplest phrases. I remember my first encounter with an English speaker. They asked me for directions, and I could only manage a confused smile. This made me realize how much I needed to learn. My journey began with the very basics. I started with simple words and phrases. Words like hello, thank you, and goodbye were my first steps. I repeated these words daily until they felt natural. I also learned numbers, colors, and common objects around me. This foundational vocabulary was essential. To help me remember new words, I carried a small notebook wherever I went. In this notebook, I wrote down every new English word I encountered. At the end of each day, I reviewed my notes, making sure to practice the pronunciation and usage of each word. This practice became a daily ritual that greatly improved my vocabulary. I also labeled objects in my house with their English names. This simple trick helped reinforce my learning. Every time I opened the refrigerator, I saw the word refrigerator stuck to the door. The same was true for other items like table, chair, and window. By constantly seeing these words in context, I began to remember them more easily. Listening to English was another challenge. Initially, English sounded like a fast, incomprehensible stream of sounds. I couldn't distinguish where one word ended and another began. To improve my listening skills, I started listening to English music. I chose simple, catchy songs and tried to sing along, even if I didn't understand all the words at first. This not only made learning fun, but also helped me get used to the rhythm and sounds of the language. I also watched English movies and TV shows with subtitles. At first, I relied heavily on the subtitles to understand the dialogue. I would pause frequently to look up words I didn't know. Over time, I began to recognize more words and phrases without needing to read the subtitles. This gradual improvement was encouraging and kept me motivated. Practicing speaking was perhaps the most intimidating part of my journey. I felt self-conscious about my accent and worried about making mistakes. To overcome this, I started practicing speaking English alone. I would describe my day, talk about my plans, or even pretend to have conversations. This helped me get used to forming sentences and speaking out loud. Eventually, I mustered the courage to practice with others. I joined a local language exchange group where people from different backgrounds came together to practice languages. Here, I met native English speakers and fellow learners. We took turns speaking in English and our native languages. The supportive environment made me feel more comfortable and less afraid of making mistakes. I also found online language partners through websites and apps. We scheduled regular video calls where we practiced speaking English together. This allowed me to interact with people from different parts of the world, exposing me to various accents and dialects. These conversations were immensely valuable in improving my fluency and confidence. Reading was another important aspect of my learning process. I started with children's books and simple stories. These books used basic vocabulary and short sentences, making them perfect for beginners. As my reading skills improved, I moved on to more complex texts. I read articles, short stories, and eventually novels. Reading not only expanded my vocabulary, but also helped me understand sentence structure and grammar. Writing was equally important. I kept a journal where I wrote daily entries in English. I wrote about my thoughts, experiences, and anything interesting that happened during the day. Writing regularly helped me practice forming sentences and expressing my ideas in English. I also used online forums and social media to connect with English speakers and participate in discussions. One of the biggest challenges I faced was grammar. English grammar can be tricky, with many rules and exceptions. To tackle this, I used grammar books and online resources. I practiced different grammar exercises and paid close attention to the structure of sentences in the books I read and the shows I watched. Over time, my understanding of grammar improved, and I felt more confident in using English correctly. Another significant hurdle was pronunciation. English has many sounds that don't exist in Portuguese, my native language. To improve my pronunciation, I listened to native speakers and mimicked their speech. I used language learning apps with speech recognition features to get feedback on my pronunciation. I also practiced tongue twisters and specific sounds that were difficult for me. Gradually, my pronunciation improved, and I started speaking more clearly. Throughout my journey, I set small, achievable goals to keep myself motivated. I celebrated each milestone, whether it was learning a new set of vocabulary words, completing a language course, or successfully having a conversation in English. These achievements, no matter how small, boosted my confidence and kept me going. Support from friends and family also played a crucial role. They encouraged me and celebrated my progress. Some of my friends were also learning English, and we formed a study group to practice together. Sharing this journey with others made it more enjoyable and less daunting. In addition to formal learning methods, I immersed myself in the language as much as possible. I changed the language settings on my phone and computer to English. I followed English-speaking influencers on social media and joined English-speaking communities online. This constant exposure to the language helped reinforce what I was learning and made English a part of my daily life. Looking back, my journey to learn English was filled with challenges and triumphs. It required patience, persistence, and a lot of practice. But every step I took brought me closer to my goal. Today, I can communicate confidently in English, and it has opened up many opportunities for me. I can travel, make new friends, and even advance in my career. Learning English has been a rewarding and transformative experience, and I am proud of the progress I have made. My journey is far from over. Language learning is a continuous process, and there is always more to learn. I continue to practice and find new ways to improve my skills. I hope my story inspires others to embark on their own language learning journey and discover the many benefits of speaking a new language. To improve my English, I used a variety of methods that suited my learning style and kept me engaged. One of the first steps I took was enrolling in English classes at a local language school. These classes provided a structured learning environment where I could learn grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation from experienced teachers. The classes were interactive, allowing me to practice speaking and listening with other students. This face-to-face interaction was invaluable in building my confidence and fluency. In addition to attending classes, I supplemented my learning with online resources. I discovered several language learning apps that were both fun and effective. Duolingo and Babbel were my favorites. These apps turned language learning into a game with levels to complete and rewards to earn. They covered a wide range of topics, from basic vocabulary to complex grammar rules. The bite-sized lessons made it easy to practice a little each day, which helped reinforce my learning. Another key part of my learning method was immersing myself in English media. I started watching English videos on YouTube, focusing on channels that offered language learning content. These videos ranged from grammar tutorials to conversational practice sessions. They were incredibly helpful in understanding how English is used in everyday situations. I would often pause the videos to take notes or repeat phrases to practice my pronunciation. Listening to English songs became one of my favorite activities. Music has a way of making language learning enjoyable and memorable. I chose songs with clear lyrics and repeated them until I could sing along. This not only improved my listening skills, but also helped me pick up new vocabulary and phrases. I found that the rhythm and melody of songs made it easier to remember the words and their meanings. I also made use of podcasts and audiobooks. These resources were great for improving my listening comprehension and exposing me to different accents and speaking styles. I would listen to them during my commute or while doing chores, turning otherwise idle time into valuable learning moments. Reading was another crucial aspect of my learning journey. I started with simple books and gradually moved on to more complex texts. Children's books were particularly helpful at the beginning because they used basic vocabulary and simple sentence structures. As my reading skills improved, I explored articles, short stories, and eventually novels. Reading not only expanded my vocabulary, but also helped me understand the nuances of English grammar and syntax. Writing in English was something I practiced regularly. I kept a journal where I wrote about my day, my thoughts, and my experiences. This daily writing exercise helped me become more comfortable with forming sentences and expressing my ideas in English. I also participated in online forums and social media groups, where I could write and interact with other English speakers. This real-world practice was invaluable in improving my writing skills. Practicing speaking was perhaps the most challenging but also the most rewarding part of my learning methods. I joined a local language exchange group where I could practice speaking with native English speakers and other learners. These sessions were relaxed and supportive, providing a safe space to make mistakes and learn from them. Additionally, I found language partners online through websites and apps. We scheduled regular video calls to practice speaking, which helped me improve my fluency and confidence. To work on my pronunciation, I used resources like pronunciation guides and speech recognition features in language learning apps. I would listen to native speakers and try to mimic their speech. This helped me get used to the sounds and intonation patterns of English. Practicing tongue twisters and focusing on difficult sounds also contributed to my progress in speaking clearly. One of the techniques that really helped me was shadowing. I would listen to a short audio clip in English and then try to repeat it exactly as I heard it. This exercise was great for improving my listening and speaking skills simultaneously. It forced me to pay close attention to the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation of the language. Grammar was another area I focused on. Understanding English grammar rules was essential for constructing correct sentences. I used grammar books and online exercises to practice different aspects of grammar, from verb tenses to sentence structure. I also paid close attention to the grammar used in the books I read and the shows I watched. Over time, this helped me internalize the rules and apply them more naturally when speaking and writing. To keep myself motivated, I set small, achievable goals. These goals could be anything from learning a new set of vocabulary words to completing a language course. Celebrating each milestone, no matter how small, kept me motivated and gave me a sense of accomplishment. For example, one of my early goals was to be able to order food in English at a restaurant. When I achieved this, it was a significant boost to my confidence. In addition to these methods, I immersed myself in the language as much as possible. I changed the language settings on my phone and computer to English. This constant exposure to the language in my daily life helped reinforce what I was learning. I also followed English-speaking influencers on social media and joined English-speaking communities online. This immersion strategy made English a part of my everyday environment and accelerated my learning process. Overall, my approach to learning English was multifaceted and dynamic. By combining traditional classroom learning with modern technology and immersive practices, I was able to improve my skills effectively. Each method had its own benefits and contributed to my overall progress. This diverse approach kept me engaged and made the learning process enjoyable. As I continue my journey, I look forward to discovering even more ways to enhance my English proficiency. Every day, I dedicated time to practicing English. Consistency was key to my progress, and I found various ways to incorporate English into my daily routine. One of the most effective practices was speaking English as often as possible. I started by having simple conversations with my friends who were also learning English. We would greet each other, discuss our plans for the day, and share our thoughts. all in English. This not only helped me get used to speaking the language, but also made me more comfortable with making mistakes and learning from them. To challenge myself further, I began watching movies and TV shows in English without subtitles. At first, it was difficult to catch every word, but gradually, my listening skills improved. I learned to understand context and pick up on key phrases. Watching different genres helped me familiarize myself with various accents and slang. I often paused the movies to repeat dialogues and practice pronunciation. Reading English books became another daily habit. I started with children's books and short stories, which were easier to understand and had simpler vocabulary. As my reading skills improved, I moved on to more complex novels and nonfiction books. Reading not only expanded my vocabulary, but also helped me understand sentence structure and grammar in a natural context. I kept a notebook to jot down new words and their meanings, and I would review them regularly. I also practiced writing in English every day. I kept a journal where I wrote about my day, my thoughts, and my experiences. This exercise helped me practice forming sentences and expressing my ideas in English. Writing regularly improved my grammar and spelling, and it was a great way to track my progress over time. To further enhance my speaking skills, I joined online language exchange platforms where I could practice speaking with native English speakers. These conversations were invaluable as they exposed me to different dialects and speaking styles. I scheduled regular video calls with my language partners where we would discuss various topics from daily life to current events. These interactions helped me gain confidence and fluency in speaking English. Listening to English podcasts and audiobooks also became part of my daily routine. I chose topics that interested me, which made the learning process enjoyable. Listening to native speakers talk about subjects I was passionate about helped me stay engaged and motivated. It also improved my listening comprehension and exposed me to new vocabulary and expressions. Another effective practice was participating in online forums and social media groups where people communicated in English. Engaging in discussions on these platforms allowed me to practice writing and interacting with others in a real-world context. I could ask questions, share my opinions, and learn from others' responses. This not only improved my writing skills, but also helped me understand different perspectives and cultural nuances. To improve my pronunciation, I used language learning apps with speech recognition features. These apps provided instant feedback on my pronunciation, helping me identify areas that needed improvement. I also practiced tongue twisters and focused on difficult sounds that were challenging for me. Over time, my pronunciation became clearer and more accurate. One technique that greatly benefited me was shadowing. I would listen to a short audio clip in English and then try to repeat it exactly as I heard it. This exercise helped me improve my listening and speaking skills simultaneously. It forced me to pay close attention to the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation of the language. Shadowing was particularly useful for learning the natural flow of conversation and improving my overall fluency. To stay motivated, I set specific, achievable goals. For example, I aim to have a 5-minute conversation in English without switching to my native language, or to read a book in English within a certain time frame. Achieving these goals gave me a sense of accomplishment and kept me motivated to continue learning. Support from friends and family was also crucial. They encouraged me and celebrated my progress. Some of my friends were also learning English, and we formed a study group to practice together. We would meet regularly to practice speaking, share resources, and help each other with difficult concepts. Having a supportive network made the learning process more enjoyable and less daunting. Immersing myself in the language was another important aspect of my practice. I changed the language settings on my phone and computer to English. This constant exposure to the language in my daily life helped reinforce what I was learning. I also followed English-speaking influencers on social media and joined English-speaking communities online. This immersion strategy made English a part of my everyday environment and accelerated my learning process. Overall, consistent practice was the foundation of my progress in learning English. By incorporating the language into my daily life through speaking, listening, reading, and writing, I was able to improve my skills effectively. Each practice method complemented the others, creating a comprehensive learning experience. As I continue my journey, I remain committed to practicing regularly and finding new ways to enhance my English proficiency. Throughout my journey to learn English, I faced many challenges that tested my patience and determination. One of the biggest hurdles was dealing with mistakes and the embarrassment that often came with them. I remember times when I would say something incorrectly and feel shy and self-conscious. It was easy to get discouraged and think that I would never be able to speak English fluently. However, I knew that making mistakes was a natural part of the learning process. Instead of giving up, I decided to embrace my errors as opportunities to learn and improve. Whenever I made a mistake, I asked for help from my teachers, friends, or language partners. They provided constructive feedback and helped me understand where I went wrong. This support was invaluable and made me realize that everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. I also practiced self-compassion and reminded myself that learning a new language is a challenging endeavor. I celebrated small victories and progress, no matter how minor they seemed. Each step forward, no matter how small, was a testament to my hard work and perseverance. Another significant challenge was dealing with the complexity of English grammar. The numerous rules and exceptions were often confusing. To tackle this, I broke down grammar topics into manageable chunks and focused on mastering one aspect at a time. I used grammar books, online exercises, and even watched grammar tutorial videos. Over time, my understanding of grammar improved, and I felt more confident in constructing sentences correctly. Pronunciation was another area where I faced difficulties. English has many sounds that don't exist in my native language, and getting them right was a challenge. I practiced tirelessly, listening to native speakers and mimicking their speech. I used language apps with speech recognition features to get feedback on my pronunciation. Gradually, my pronunciation improved, and I became more comfortable speaking English. Time management was also a challenge. Balancing language learning with other responsibilities required discipline and organization. I created a study schedule that allowed me to dedicate specific times each day to practice English. This routine helped me stay consistent and ensured that I made steady progress. After a few months of diligent practice and overcoming challenges, I started noticing significant improvements in my English skills. One of the first major achievements was being able to hold a basic conversation in English without feeling overwhelmed. I could understand and respond to questions more confidently, and my vocabulary had expanded considerably. A significant milestone was passing an English proficiency test. I had set this as a goal early in my journey, and achieving it was a validation of my hard work. Preparing for the test involved rigorous study and practice, covering all aspects of the language: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. When I received my results, I felt a tremendous sense of accomplishment and pride. Another rewarding achievement was making friends from other countries. Through language exchange programs and online platforms, I connected with people from various parts of the world. We shared our cultures, experiences, and language learning tips. These friendships enriched my learning experience and provided real-world practice that was both fun and educational. Being able to communicate and form bonds with people from different backgrounds was a testament to how far I had come in my language journey. One of the most gratifying experiences was being able to travel and use my English skills in real-life situations. During a trip to an English-speaking country, I navigated the airport, ordered food at restaurants, asked for directions, and even engaged in casual conversations with locals. These experiences were empowering and reinforced the practical benefits of learning English. At work, my improved English skills opened up new opportunities. I was able to participate in international projects, communicate effectively with colleagues from other countries, and contribute to discussions in meetings. This not only advanced my career, but also boosted my confidence and professional growth. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that the achievements were not just about mastering a new language, but also about personal growth and resilience. Learning English taught me the value of perseverance, the importance of seeking help, and the power of small, consistent efforts. Each challenge I overcame and each milestone I reached made me stronger and more determined. My journey to learn English is ongoing, and I continue to set new goals and strive for improvement. The sense of achievement I feel is a driving force that keeps me motivated. I am proud of how far I have come and excited about where this journey will take me next. Learning a new language is a rewarding but challenging endeavor, and through my own journey, I have gathered several pieces of advice that I believe can be immensely helpful for anyone embarking on the path to mastering English. First and foremost, practice every day. Consistency is the key to success. It doesn't have to be hours of study at a time. Even dedicating 15 to 30 minutes daily can make a significant difference over time. Make English a part of your daily routine. Whether it's reading a short article, watching a video, or practicing speaking with a friend, regular exposure and use of the language will help reinforce what you learn and make it stick. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are an essential part of the learning process. Every error is an opportunity to learn and improve. When you make a mistake, take it in stride, learn from it, and try again. Surround yourself with supportive people who understand that making mistakes is natural and who can provide constructive feedback. Remember, everyone who has ever learned a new language has been in your shoes at some point. Use a variety of resources to enhance your learning experience. Different tools and methods can cater to different aspects of language learning. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Rosetta Stone offer structured lessons and interactive exercises that make learning engaging and effective. Watching videos on YouTube can provide real-life context and expose you to different accents and slang. Channels like English Addict, BBC Learning English, and TED Talks are excellent for improving listening skills and learning new vocabulary. Listening to English music and podcasts can also be very beneficial. Music can help with pronunciation and rhythm, while podcasts can improve your listening comprehension and expose you to a wide range of topics. Choose music and podcasts that interest you to keep your learning experience enjoyable and relevant. Reading is another powerful tool. Start with simple texts like children's books or graded readers designed for language learners. As you progress, challenge yourself with more complex materials, such as newspapers, novels, and academic articles. Reading not only expands your vocabulary, but also helps you understand grammar and sentence structure in context. Make a habit of noting down new words and phrases and reviewing them regularly. Writing in English every day can significantly improve your language skills. Keep a journal where you write about your daily experiences, thoughts, and ideas. Try to express yourself as fully as possible, and don't worry too much about making mistakes. Over time, you'll notice your writing becoming more fluid and natural. Engaging in online forums or joining writing groups can also provide opportunities for practice and feedback. Speaking practice is crucial for building fluency and confidence. Join language exchange groups or find language partners online to practice speaking regularly. Engaging in conversations with native speakers or fellow learners will help you get used to thinking and responding in English. If you don't have access to language partners, practice speaking to yourself. Describe your surroundings, talk about your plans, or narrate a story. This can help you get comfortable with forming sentences and speaking out loud. Immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Change the language settings on your devices to English. Follow English-speaking influencers on social media and participate in English-speaking communities online. The more you surround yourself with the language, the more natural it will become for you. Immersion helps you think in English and exposes you to the language in various contexts. Set specific, achievable goals to keep yourself motivated. These goals can range from learning a certain number of new words each week to being able to hold a 5-minute conversation in English. Celebrate your progress and reward yourself for reaching your milestones. This positive reinforcement will keep you motivated and make the learning process more enjoyable. Lastly, be patient and persistent. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be times when progress feels slow or when you hit a plateau. During these times, it's important to stay motivated and keep pushing forward. Remember that every bit of practice brings you one step closer to fluency. Stay committed to your goals, and don't be discouraged by setbacks. Learning English is a journey filled with ups and downs, but it is a journey worth taking. The process may be challenging, but with dedication, practice, and the right resources, you can achieve your language goals. Keep trying, and you will get better with each passing day. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and remember that every step forward is a step closer to fluency. Stay positive and believe in your ability to succeed. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage and motivate you. Use the diverse array of tools and resources available to make your learning experience effective and enjoyable. Practice regularly, embrace your mistakes, and learn from them. Your journey to learning English will open up new opportunities, enable you to connect with people from different cultures, and enrich your life in countless ways. It is a journey of growth and discovery that will leave you with skills and experiences that last a lifetime. You can do it. Keep pushing forward, stay committed, and enjoy the process. With perseverance and effort, you will achieve fluency in English. Good luck on your language learning journey.